Okay, YouTube, it is time for me to put another video on here. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this thing around so you can see, like I'm looking at the screen and looking at you, but I'm not sure how to do it. So I'm just going to flip you around. Don't get dizzy, you might. So, sorry, that was a rather quick turn. I apologize. I think threw some of you out of your chair. So, we kind of already got started on this, and I should have recorded a little bit more of what we're doing. This little boat frame here, it's a retired boat frame. It's tired. So I used it a little bit and it got retired again. So there's the part that goes inside this part. So that would be the extension leg that comes out. One of the things we're thinking about doing is putting this little guy inside this little guy. It fits perfect. I couldn't believe it. And then I'm gonna try and find a I don't know, like a 2,000 pound, 3,000 pound winch. I think I've got one of the old RV winches, but this little boat trailer just is not doing anything. It's limping. So that was the air compressor you heard in the background. So it's poor thing. A little lower on one side than the other. But yeah, so the goal is to combine this guy with this guy. I'm gonna shave a little off the booty, make him a little lighter, because we really don't need this much. You can see I was already throwing it up there just to see what I needed to do, how it would fit. But yeah, we're gonna combine not the hedge trimmer or the valves, just the parts that go to the engine hoist, which, now this tan colored piece does rusted, let's call it rust, that rusty colored piece with the, I'm not sure what to call that. I mean, it's a nice invention, whoever did it, but when they put the snatch block on here, it's like, that's a really good idea. So it is what it is. So we're going to combine stuff and make a little towable engine hoist for around the yard. Just to give you an idea, I have a yard. It's my yard. I like my yard. But I got to clean it up. So, it is what it is, I guess. So let's do this. Let's start this little guy. We bought this from the auctions. Runs pretty good. I was quite surprised. Doesn't pick as much as you might want to assume it would, but doesn't do too shabby either. So let's do this. I'm going to crank it up and let's go pick up another engine hoist. Put it in my pocket. That was this right here. That's what you might have seen. That slight lowering. Laid down. Bring it back up. It's jumpy. I need to figure that out. If anybody's got any solutions, I would love to know how to make this thing not quite so jumpy. Alright, there we go. Okay, back in the pocket you go. Alright, you can see this one's the one we're coming to get. This one's built slightly different, but I like this one more than the other one because this one's a bit more compact. You can see the legs right there. They extend out a little ways, but you can unbolt these legs and set them in the upright right there. So let's pull this out. I just threw that in there. Look at that, another wheel. That might fit. Let's take that one over there and find out. It might fit. All right, now, let's see if this will come out. And I apologize for all the weeds. They and I don't get along. They like to make me sneeze. Not a big fan of sneezing. All right, let's go over here and grab. That's the thought process chair. That's the contemplation chair. That's the okay, I'm taking a break chair. Back over here. Granted, it wasn't very far to go get this thing. It's just a little heavier than I want to sit, play with and pick up. Oh, wrong size. Oh no. Okay, back over there. That didn't work. This yellow guy and that other guy, two different sizes, so the pocket socket set it is. I love the pocket socket set and the realigner. Let's just go right over here and get the right size put on it. Look at that. It really didn't take that much, but it took more than I was aware. Well, that one a little bit tighter, but not too bad. So I don't know if doing, a lot of people don't know, but doing that kind of helps to knock some rust out. Not a whole lot, but also if you have a bolt that's giving you issues like this one, turn it, tap it a couple times like that, loosens it up, but you have to really go through and do quite a few turns and using a proper tool instead of a pocket socket set. Okay, throw that there, take this out. There we go. This one can go over here. I've been making lots of trips because I can see why a lot of YouTubers are one-hand wonders. Look at that. That one's welded on the bottom. That was the stopper I was looking at. When you slide it in, it only goes in so far. This one. There we go. Get this one out. I'll take this one over. So if you guys have been kind of paying much attention to what my wife was talking about, she was talking about how she's going through a form of cancer called Lynch syndrome. And she's doing her best to put videos on. And same here. I'm going to try and be a little more diligent about getting more videos put on. But for right now, I'm going to try, you know what I might do? I might just pull this guy here, pull this pin. That is out. Trying to get this pin put in. Suppose I could just put them in this hole here. skill with the engine hoist. I'm not going to be looking for it because I set it, say, on the seat or on the floorboard of this little guy here that's going to get torn down as well. Pull this out. This one is shaped differently as well. As you can see, it's rectangular tube, not square tube. The other one is square tube, which is why this little hoist arm is going to get added in. Plus with the, where am I going? Let's put it right here. Let's keep all the parts together on top of the B-box. And just so you know, we've got a lot of B-boxes. Several more pallets back there behind the truck. So, there we go. Yeah, we do bees. We like bees. I grew up in Washington State where orchards, couldn't go to an orchard without there being bees there. Well, at least the area that I grew up in, let's put it that way. Yeah, that's what I thought. Get something sitting on in. Stretch it a little bit more. Loosen that. Bring it down to there. Oops, sorry. Tighten it back up. There we go. Now, really out a little bit, that way you can see more. Pull this off. What we're going to do, we're going to hook. I'm going to get something else set up so as we're doing videos, you guys will be able to see more. I know that's one of the things I like, is being able to see a lot more of what's going on. And sometimes the other YouTubers just don't do that. And so I kind of, for right now, I'm just kind of getting used to doing this. But let's see if we can. There we go. Wrap it around both arms. Now, let's see. I suppose I could just hook it right here at the end of the tube, considering the fact that I'm wrapping the tube. Like that. Hook it onto here. Oh. Scroll you out, that's as far out as you're going to get scrolled. Spin. Just a little. Fell off. Right now it's kind of a learning curve, seeing what's going to work. Oh, I think I have an idea. I like it. Let's see what you guys think. There we go. Yank it a couple times. Comes out nice and straight. We'll hook that on there. Come up. Let's go to the other side. Alright, we gotta move this out quite a bit. Let's do this. But yeah. Yeah, not the best. There we go. Let's try that. Not the greatest job, but it'll do. Scooter, he's just kind of checking the work area, make sure I'm not going to slip, trip, or fall. Crazy RPM though. A little bit. Pocket set. On the floor. Good fingers. On the floor. Come on, Scooter. Come on. You can jump up here. You've done it before. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, I'll come get you. Alright, got the co-pilot. Good boy. Back in the pocket. it up all the way. Alright, now let's cram on over. This guy I just picked up. We have a possibility on something with that. Got it in an auction a few years back. But you know how it goes. Sometimes you get impatient, and I really shouldn't. I should slow down. There's being expedient, and there's just being impatient. All right. got this over here where I want it for now. Sorry, I'm trying to wrestle this over here one-hander. There we go. Okay. Now we take that out, this out, unhook this. There we go. Put this down here for now. So the reason that cover is off of the back of here is when we got it, didn't take long for the little hydraulic reservoir down there to start leaking. They actually just were not, they just were lazy. They didn't weld the rest of the weld all the way around the bung. They went, shoop, oh, it looked good. Off to the next one they went. They didn't check the top right there where they didn't connect it. And so it was leaking fluid. Anyway, that's there. Let's bring our legs over. As you can see right here, leg on the bottom, leg on the bottom. Somebody before us, I don't know why they flipped it over, but you can see the stops. It what it is. Does not affect how much it lifts. So let's just put these over here for now. So this is my first long video. Like I said, I'm going to be doing quite a bit more. We're going to do a lot of projects. Got a lot of them. There we go. And then this guy. We'll put this back up in there. But like I said, this is rectangular tube. So it's kind of oddball. Let's see. Right there. Okay. Stop right there. We'll put this in. Okay, there we go. Now that's locked in. I do need to get a handle for it. I have no idea what happened to the handle. But to be fair, I've got a few of these little guys that, this one does work. I've got another one somewhere around that doesn't work, and the handle should work just fine in that. But this one is square tube. The other one's rectangular, which makes an ideal solution for this guy to go in here. So I'm actually going to do the same with this. I'm going to drill a couple extra holes going up, and I'm going to make sure that they coordinate with these holes here. And then along with that snatch block, I'm going to weld on a guide here, and I'm still trying to decide where I want to mount the winch, but we've got this truss that goes up and over the top of this bar, and I'm not going to be lifting that much weight, but I'm not going to take the time to cut it off there either. So with that and here, we just have to decide, because if we put it on the back there, then the hinge point down, its rating will stay roughly the same. I mean, it's going to lose a little bit of lifting weight because we're adding extra weight It's not a whole lot, but still. Okay, well, that is it for now. I'm going to run in. I'm going to edit that video, and I'm going to work on this another day. You guys stay safe, have fun, enjoy the beautiful day. As long as the sunshine is out, it's always a beautiful day. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Subscribe, like. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.